discussed almost everything except for a few small topics. Like the first one is melting point. Let's discuss melting point in detail. The first one. See, whenever we start heating a object or substance, its temperature starts increasing, right? If you give an object or substance some heat energy, its temperature increases. Why the temperature increases? The heat is the form of energy which is absorbed by subatomic particles, and they keep it in form of kinetic energy. So the kinetic energy increases, indirectly we say temperature increases, or temperature increases, kinetic energy increases. So before melting point, substance is in solid form, right? Substance is in solid form, and on heating, its temperature rises. Its temperature rises. Right. Now, at melting point, first point you should know is, even on adding heat, temperature of substance does not increases. Adding heat, temperature of substance does not increases. So first thing, at melting point, even on adding heat, temperature of substance does not increases. Right? In last lecture, we have discussed a graph, temperature versus heat supplied. So at melting point, temperature stops increasing, right? Temperature does not increases at melting point. The question is, where does that heat goes in? If temperature does not increases, that means kinetic energy of particles is not increasing, right? So if kinetic energy of particles is not increasing, then where does the heat added goes? Anyone? Hello? Kanishk की भी आवाज नहीं आ रही.
Repeat the question.
See, at melting point, even if we add heat, temperature does not increases. The question is, where does that heat energy goes, or that energy given to the substance at melting point is used for what? Temperature remains same. That means
to melt the entire substance.
Particles ka kinetic energy. Melt means what? Actually, we say
change the.
It is used to change the state of
the whole state, the whole
state
substance
of matter
from solid to liquid.
That is correct. Actually, the technical term is something like, we have to write like this: heat energy absorbed at melting point is used. Melting point is used to overcome molecular force of attraction. Some energy is needed to overcome that force of attraction, right? See, this pen is being pulled by Earth. If I want to work against, I have to give it some energy, right? I have to do some work or give it some energy, right? We'll discuss in the chapter in physics, work, power, energy. There we'll discuss it in detail. So, energy absorbed at melting point is used for what? Is used to overcome force of attraction. Molecules in solid, right? Molecules in solid have large force of attraction or greater force of attraction. If you want it to convert it to liquid, you have to overcome that force of attraction. The molecules of solid or particles of solid, should overcome that force of attraction. So the energy added at melting point is used to overcome force of attraction. I'll not use the word molecular because I have not explained what is molecular. Force of attraction between particles. That is true. You said it is used to change the state. That is true. But change the state and sense world. So to overcome the force of attraction, more is the force, energy, which whatever is added before melting point, part of it is used to overcome force of attraction between particles, and part of it is used for kinetic energy before melting point. This is melting point. Before melting point, heat added is used for what? Kinetic energy of particle plus force of attraction between particles. It's used for two things. After melting point, it's used only to overcome force of attraction between particles. Right? So it is used to overcome force of attraction. Yeah. Say, Vishishta. You're saying something, Vishishta? So this is one thing. At melting point, whatever heat, whatever energy is added is used to overcome force of attraction. Next thing, I'll use a very interesting statement. I don't know whether you have heard this word before or not. Solid and liquid are in equilibrium. At melting point, solid and liquid are in equilibrium. It's a very interesting word. We'll discuss it in detail in higher syllabus. I'll just introduce it. So at melting point, we say solid and liquid are in equilibrium. Means what? Suppose there's a closed container, which contains cubes of ice. Right? Contains cubes of ice. Do you expect water to be present here? I see some cubes of ice. Do you think some water is also there? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Do you expect some water to be there inside it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, you expect. Right. Now, what do you expect? This ice will melt further. Suppose at this instant, at this moment, I have 100 gram of ice and let us assume 30 gram of water. You said you are expecting water also to be there, right? But it's not necessary. If you see only ice, if I see ice in a closed container, it is possible that there is no water inside, right? Example is your freezer, right? Inside your freezer, you don't see water, right? You see only ice. Reason? Temperature is lesser than 0 degrees Celsius. So less at temperature lower than 0 degrees Celsius, it's ice alone, right? At temperature greater than 0 degrees Celsius, it's water alone. Question is, what at exactly 0 degrees Celsius? So let us say you yourself said, sir, some ice and some water, sir. Right? Right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let us assume there is a closed container which contains 100 gram of ice and 30 gram of water. Right? Now, if you supply this system, I'll call it system, if you give some energy to this system, what will happen further?
The ice will melt further.
The ice will melt further, right? And what about water? Its temperature will rise or it will remain same?
It will also rise.
No, its temperature will remain same unless until entire ice melts, right? unless until entire ice melts. Reason, temperature of water should increase, but as soon as it absorbs some energy, that energy is immediately transferred to ice. Why? Let us assume that temperature of water becomes 0.001 degrees Celsius on absorbing some heat. But as soon as it becomes 0.001 degrees Celsius, ice is at 0 degrees Celsius. So heat is transferred. So heat absorbed at this stage will not increase the temperature of water. Water temperature will also remain 0 degree Celsius. So temperature remains constant, right? Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So ice will melt further. So after some time, you will see there is 80 gram of ice. And how much water? Will it be 50 gram or more than 50 gram?
50.
50.
Obviously 50 gram. Because 20 gram, if 20 gram ice melts, so it will give only 20 gram of water, right? So 50 gram of water. Let us assume I'm not supplying any heat further. We call it a thermalus enclosure. Heat can neither enter this container nor it can leave. So further energy is not supplied to this. Now what will happen? Some heat is needed to melt the ice further. If I don't supply that heat energy, then what will happen? Will ice melt further?
Yes, sir.
But you need some heat to melt the ice, and I'm not giving that heat. Then what?
Sir, I think the water will provide the heat.
If water will provide the heat, then water will have to freeze because water is already at 0 degrees Celsius. If you will take out
Sir,
some energy from water, then water will convert to ice.
so it will just stay in the same state.
Yes, this is what we say is equilibrium. If you don't supply it any energy further, even after several days, you will see there is exactly 100 gram of ice and 30 gram of water. To this stage, we say they are in equilibrium. Masses of ice and water remain same. And I don't know, by mistake you said it or not, that's a very interesting thing. Actually, ice melts. Actually, ice melts. The question is, from where does it gets that energy? It draws that energy from water. Energy from water. Now you will say, then you said, sir, water has to convert to ice. Yes. So water converts to ice. Actually, both the processes continue. Solid gets converted to liquid and same amount of liquid gets converted to solid. This is known as dynamic equilibrium. After some time, what will happen? 100 gram ice is there, 30 gram of water is there. After some time, 5 gram of ice will melt. But
Then
against
5
that
gram
5
of
gram
water
of
will freeze.
yes, water will get converted to
Yes.
to
So it will
ice.
always
That is,
stay
it
in
will
a
freeze.
equilibrium.
Yes, so they will remain in equilibrium. This type of equilibrium is known as dynamic equilibrium. So quantities become constant, but conversion still continue. Conversion still continue, right? Obviously, if you supply it heat for further heat, then it will start melting. Then ice will melt further. If you get some more heat, then it will melt further. After some time, you will see 80 gram of ice and 50 gram of water. But if you don't supply any energy, then the quantities will remain constant, right? Okay. Now I'll define a very important word, latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion. So latent heat of fusion. Latent heat of fusion is what? See, as we said, the energy is, sorry, if is added at melting point, then only the object will change its phase from solid to liquid. Heat energy is added to that object or substance at its melting point. right? So it will get converted to liquid. If you don't supply, then it will remain. If you have ice at 0 degrees Celsius, and if you don't give it heat, it will remain ice forever, right? It will melt only when you supply further heat. Heat should be added to it at 0 degree Celsius. Then only it will get converted to ice. So at its melting point, we are supplying some heat so that it changes its phase from solid to liquid, right? So that heat added per gram or per kg is known as latent heat of fusion. So latent heat of fusion of any substance is amount of heat added to needed for unit mass of that substance, to change its state from solid to liquid at its melting point. This is the state. So latent heat of fusion of any substance is amount of heat needed for unit mass of that substance to change its state from solid to liquid at its melting point. For example, if I talk of example, that latent heat of fusion of ice, latent heat of fusion of ice is 336 joules per gram. That means to melt 1 gram of ice, to melt 1 gram of ice at 0 degrees Celsius, you need to give it 336 joules. If there is 1 kg of ice you want to melt, then it will absorb heat equal to 336,000 joules or 336 kilojoule for 1 kg. Got it? So this is what we
Yes,
say
sir.
is latent heat of fusion. And now you can figure out this latent heat is needed for what? Is needed to overcome force of attraction between the particles. यही वो हीट है जो पार्टिकल्स के बीच में सेपरेशन लाने के लिए यूज होता है, राइट? सो दैट इज नोन एज लेटेंट हीट ऑफ फ्यूजन. क्लियर? ओके.
Yes, sir.
In terms of melting point, we can define solid and liquids also. Melting point is what? Solid is what? Solid is a substance. Solid is a substance, state of matter. Any substance is in solid state is solid if at normal pressure, we call it 1 atmospheric pressure. At normal pressure, if any substance is solid, if lower than is room temperature. I'll repeat. Melting point के terms में we can define solid. So any object is any substance is in its solid state if or is solid if at normal pressure its melting point is above room temperature. I missed something. Any substance is solid if at normal pressure its melting point is temperature. What? Water. Ice का melting point is 0 degree Celsius. It is below room temperature. Room temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, let us say. So it is below room temperature. Hence, water is solid at this temperature, right? So it is ice. And liquid is what? Against this definition, what is liquid? Any substance is liquid if at normal pressure its melting point is below room temperature. If its melting point is below room temperature, then it must be liquid. Then it is liquid, right? Okay, na? So water ka melting point is 0 degrees
Yes,
Celsius. It is lesser than room temperature. So hence it is liquid. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one more interesting thing.